Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Business Talks. I am your host, Chawanne Burns. In today's episode, we are going to talk about Fani Willis. This is the latest news out there. Fani Willis was discontinued from the election interference case that they brought up charges against Donald Trump and 19 co-conspirators, saying Donald Trump tried to interfere with the election or overturn the election results in Georgia. Okay. So she is out. We're going to discuss more into that, what the ruling was and what does it mean for this election interference case. Also, Tiffany Henyard, there was a township board meeting, I believe last night or the night before last. You guys, you gotta forgive me because I was feeling under the weather yesterday. I'm still battling with it, but I feel much better. There were there was a meeting held with Tiffany Henyard, and Carmen Carlisle and George Gonzalez did not show up to the meeting. And of course, Tiffany is teed off. Okay. She's teed off, and now she's trying to say they're trying to shut Thornton Township down. And that's not the case, of course, but she has to put the narrative out there. And now she's willing to talk to the media. Okay. She's willing to go on ABC News, Fox 32, or whoever that's been covering her in a good way. So she's willing to talk to them so she could spread her narrative of basically untrue falsehoods of the Thornton Township trustees. So we'll discuss that further. So you guys stay tuned for another episode of Business Talks. Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad. Looks a little something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad. You guys put in the chat, let me know where you're viewing from. I see we have Celeste Hodges in the building. What is good with you? Hello from Texas. So glad to see the on Fannies. Yes, Fani Willis, she had to pack. Fanny Pack had to pack up her things and go. Tyrell Harris, East New York, you know what it is. Thank you, Tyrell Harris, for tuning in. Noble Young, what is good? It's always great to see you. D. Dave from Texas in this bish. Hook'em Horns. This has been a wild week of news. So much drama. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Michael, she is gone. Michael, thank you for tuning in. I see we have Cheryl Ingram in the building. Hello, dear. Hope you're feeling better. I am. She did illegal lockout. The insurance expires on 12/2. Yeah, and I think this is another problem for Tiffany Henyard because she's uninsurable. You guys, if you don't follow All in the Queue, that's my co-host for Unpopular Opinion. She does have her own channel, and she does go in detail about the whole insurance debacle in Thornton Township. And she actually she has receipts. Okay. We try not to present information if we don't have anything to back it up. Sometimes I present information because I think it's funny, but if I'm reporting on, actual factual data and trying to prove a point, it's usually I have factual data or a proof or substantiate my claims. Anyway, so go to All in the Queue and look for, I think she dropped that episode last week, and I believe it's called I think it's Thornton Township receipts or something like that. I have to, when we're playing the video, I go and drop it in the comment section. Anyway, Cheryl Ingram is tuning in from Washington D.C. William Galovinsky is from Hinesville, Georgia. Cheryl Ingram, you meant 12/21/24. Yeah. I kind of get what you were saying. Anyway, so we're going to get started. Our first topic, I do want to touch on Fani Willis. Fani Willis, she got the boot. She got the boot from the election, Georgia case. And I don't know what she's going through right now, but I would have thought Fonnie Willis to be, when she first ran for DA, I watched the old videos of her running for DA, and she prided herself as being one that, she did not do unscrupulous things with her employees. And this is one of the reasons why she wanted to run for office, to give Fulton County a better name for her, or a better reputation. But Fonnie Willis turned out to be kind of the same of the guy that she replaced. So she kind of ruined her name. I think she ruined her name in two ways. She took this case on, and knowingly that this case was pretty circumstantial. It was a circumstantial case. You probably wouldn't have had a case if you wouldn't have coordinated with the White House and Jack Smith. You guys, I don't know if you know, the Oversight Committee did subpoena records from Fonnie Willis in Fulton County. They wanted to know how many times did they meet with the White House, how many meetings was coordinating with DA Alvin Bragg in New York, how many times they met with Jack Smith. Because all of these cases that they brought up on Donald Trump last year was all coordinated cases. Okay, one entity or one case could not stand on its own because it was a coordinated attack. Now you guys get in the comment. I'm here for it today. If you don't like what I said, boo-hoo, go cry at home. But the truth always reveals itself. And reason why I'm saying that is because look at the cases against Donald Trump now. They're crumbling before our very eyes. And I don't think it has anything to do with him being elected. I think before they started, before they kind of inkling knew that Donald Trump was already going to be reelected, the cases was crumbling. Okay, this election Georgia case was crumbling. Okay, so but now you have this case, and we kind of knew what was going on in this one. And you know what? Before I play, the breaking news story, let me just share, just to refresh your memory of Fonnie Willis. Remember what she was when she testified. First, they was trying to protect her. Okay, she did not allow the people that she put in place to protect her from going on the stand. She was so arrogant, she wanted to go on the stand, and she made a damn fool of herself. I think she made a damn fool of herself, and it was so many indiscrepancies in her testimony, in her boyfriend's testimony. You guys put it in chat, I forget what the guy's name is, but so many indiscrepancies in their testimony. The guy that ruled over the case whether or not to disbar Fonnie Willis, he basically said he didn't want to make a decision, but there are some questions. Okay, and he gave them an ultimatum. You need to fire the guy, her boyfriend, or you need to step down. So either or. So he gave them an ultimatum. Now this is Fonnie Willis. Let me just share this with you. Now I don't know if you guys remember her testifying in on this case, on this Georgia appeals case.
All my life.
Now, Let me make sure you guys can see this. Yep, you can see it. And you guys, let me know if you can hear this video as well.
But I always have cash at the house. That has been, I don't know, all my life. If you're a woman and you go on a date with a man, you better have $200 in your pocket. So if that man acts up, you can go where you want to go. So I keep cash in my house, and I don't keep cash as good in my purse like I used to, because I don't go on many dates. But when you go on a date, you should have cash in your pocket.
So my question was, where did that cash originally come from, if it didn't come out of the bank?
Cash is fungible. I had cash for years in my house. So for me to tell you the source of when it comes from, when you go to Publix and you buy something, you get $50, you throw it in there. It's been my whole life. When I took out a large amount of money on my first campaign, I kept some of the cash of that. Like, to tell you, I just have cash in my house. I don't have as much today as I would normally have, but I'm building back up now. So you just put money in. It's a very good practice. I would advise it to all women.
So you can't identify when you came into this cash or where the cash came from?
I didn't say I couldn't identify it. No, nobody gives me anything. I am sure that the source of the money is always the work, sweat, and tears of me. What you asked me for is, when did the money go in there? What I am trying to tell you is, so I got divorced in 2005 from my husband. No. It's important. You said, where did the money come from? And I need to tell you where the money came from. And so for many, many years, I have kept money in my house. That money in my worst days has probably only been $500 or $1,000. At my best days, I probably had $15,000 in my house at cash. At all times, there's going to be cash in my house or wherever I'm laying my head.
The money that you paid Mr. Wade, the cash, in October of 2022, you do not know where that money came from?
I do know where it came from. It came from my sweat and tears.
You know which job it came from? Did it come from Fulton County or did it come from a private job?
It came from, what are you talking about? So it could have come from a private job, because before I was DA, I was in private practice. So I earned money during that time period that's probably in there. It could have.
And so that part of the testimony, I thought it was pretty funny because, you always keeping cash in your house. If you're a black person, some people might, that's an old school thing. You might keep cash in your house. But 15,000, like that's a lot of cash. And then, if you're doing stuff legally, you tend not to have a bunch of cash in your house. I keep cash in my house because I have, we got 4 people we got to worry about. And sometimes we have people coming in doing work on the house, and maybe, we didn't get to go to the bank. So we got cash in the house. But you trying to act like you can't determine where your money came from. Just say, I work. This is, I work for this money. No, it's not from, what's his name? Dwayne. Is his name Dwayne? Nathan Wade. Nathan Wade. I couldn't remember what the guy's name is. No, it's not from Nathan Wade. You could have just said that. But, Ashley Merchant, she was trying to determine whether or not she received the cash from Nathan Wade as gifts and stuff. So anyway, this testimony, I believe, did more harm than good. Okay. Because it's like, you can't really definitively answer questions. You leave it open-ended. Well, I don't know where it came from. It could have came from this and it could have came from that. I have cash in my house for years. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So I think she shouldn't have gotten on the stand if she would have wanted to stay on this case. But, being the arrogant person that she is, she thought she was going to waltz on in there and give, Ashley Merchant and the judge a piece of her mind. And it didn't turn out good for her. So this is what they're saying on Fox News. Okay.
I use Fiverr all the time. What have I not used Fiverr for? I don't even...
Got to get to Fulton County, Georgia. And here we go. A Georgia Court of Appeals has disqualified the Fulton County DA, Fani Willis, from that election interference case. It's coming down right now. The case against Trump and more than a dozen others already largely stalled, as you know. The new ruling means that it will be up to the prosecuting attorney's council in the state of Georgia to find another prosecutor to decide on the case, to take it over and make a decision as to whether or not they continue with a prosecution of the incoming president.
And former Deputy Assistant Attorney General John Yoo is here. John, does this mean that this is yet another one of the cases against Trump that could go away before he's president?
It's another example, Dana, of this lawfare campaign that was waged by Democrats, boomeranging back on them and falling all around their ears. Anyone who watched this trial, remember, this is the DA who claimed that the entire Trump reelection campaign was something like an organized crime racket that was intending to deprive everyone of our civil rights to vote. But remember, we saw the dramatic testimony over the summer of how DA Fani Willis had hired her boyfriend, essentially, to be the special counsel, overpaid him, and then had him investigate and bring charges against Donald Trump. It's a complete conflict of interest. And if you take a quick look at the Georgia Appeals Court decision here, that's what it says. There's such an appearance of impropriety, an appearance of a conflict of interest, that Fani Willis should not be the prosecutor. I think this spells yet another case that's going to have to either be suspended or more likely just ended and tossed out. It's hard for me to see another Georgia district attorney wanting to take up this flawed case and try to prosecute Trump on these theories that his reelection campaign was some kind of criminal organized crime enterprise.
John, a couple of things here. There are 14 others that face charges. I don't know what happens to them, but she can appeal to the state Supreme Court in Georgia. But given what the Supreme Court said in Washington about immunity, I mean, does the state Supreme Court even take her case in Georgia?
It's a good question, Bill. I think what's going to happen here,
Bill, nobody's going to take this case. Nobody's going to take. Who wants to take this case? When Fonnie Willis, was part of the testimony when they were doing that hearing, when you just heard she was testifying. They had the old governor up there because I guess he practiced law. And he said, yeah, they came to me and I said, hell no. He didn't say in those words. He didn't use that word verbatim. But if you listen to his testimony, he was like, no. I like my life. I got better things to do than go against Donald Trump and MAGA people. Nobody wants this case. They're going to throw it out. And matter of fact, all the people that was already convicted or did the plea deal, those folks, and probably Donald Trump will probably pardon them, but those folks, they need to be pardoned as well. They need to just drop the case. It's really ridiculous too, because I'm assuming that the election board or whatever they took in account for the people that actually did the investigation, whether or not they had some ballots that was miscounted. They end up finding like 370,000 ballots that were either miscounted or counted doubled, that shouldn't have even been counted. So, and they end up apologizing to Donald Trump. They had held a press conference. So, I mean, if you just go back and look at 2020 election, Georgia alone, we could say Georgia alone, I feel very confident that Joe Biden didn't actually win Georgia.
along the lines of possible appeals and so on, is it looks likely, because of that presidential immunity decision by the Supreme Court, that any kind of state prosecution of President Trump would have to be at least suspended, if not dropped. You're seeing that going on, those arguments going on right now up in New York City with the case being heard by Judge Merchan. So even if they could get past immunity, they'd still have to suspend it while President Trump was in office. But furthermore, you'd have to go back and then scrub the whole indictment, scrub everything the grand jury did, and say you've got to eliminate anything that used official actions by President Trump any evidence that came in from White House officials, from anything the president was doing in the Oval Office, that might actually fatally handicap this prosecution and require the whole thing to be dismissed.
It's interesting, too, because she had this novel way of trying to get at him through RICO. Was that a mistake as well? In addition to her personal behavior, obviously, is what they're saying here. But in a way, it was this like novel idea of like, how can I be the one to take Trump down? That's for like politically, she wanted that reputation.
Yeah. Dana, you and I remember we're Justice Department alums. Yeah, I remember you when you were there and I was there and we were, there after the days of 9/11. And you can use this kind of statute, RICO, to try to go after real organized crime, drug cartels, mafia organizations. DA Fani Willis introduced, I think, a really dangerous theory, was that we could use these powerful tools that are used for terrorists and drug cartels and apply them to political campaigns, and not just any political campaign, but the campaign by the leading opposition candidate at that time, Donald Trump, the head of one of the two major parties in the country. I think ultimately the whole thing would have been tossed out because it violated the free speech rights of Donald Trump, the free speech rights of the Republican Party, and actually a lot of Americans who supported him. So I think in the end, this whole thing was going to come crashing down around Fani Willis's and the Democratic Party's ears. Anyway.
Fonnie Willis, she put a stain on her career. Fonnie Willis, and I truly believe Fonnie Willis was a good attorney. I really do believe that. But somebody got in her ear like, girl, you going to prosecute Donald Trump because we all hate him. And she like, yeah, I'm going to take one for the people. Black power. And then she should have set her ass down, stayed in Georgia, Fulton County. And now you got two cases. That Young Thug trial, that was a debacle. Okay, Young Thug, Fulton County is a sham. You guys are trying to render justice, the rule of law, render justice for the American people, and you're a sham. You don't even follow the rules. How can you be the thumb of justice, and you don't even follow the rules of the law? You sleeping around with people. You doing undercut things in the actual case. This is why Young Thug, he didn't get off scot-free. But you see the judge, the original judge, the black guy, end up getting kicked off the case. Because he trying to make backdoor deals unlawfully with witnesses. So you could get, a star, a golden star. I don't know who told you to do this. He's been a judge for years. So Fonnie Willis, Alvin Bragg, and Letitia James. These are three black people that's higher up in the justice system. And you guys, all three of you guys, ruined your career off of this one man. Because you thought they was gonna, I don't know what you thought. You thought the American people was like going to just lay down and let you prosecute somebody that we really like? That we really think should have been president? You thought that was going to go away? 51% of the people actually liked Donald Trump. That's why he got reelected. You thought that was going to, fly? Like, I don't know what's wrong with people. She shouldn't have never took that case. And I don't think, or maybe her career was impinged on what she did with this case. Her campaign committee financing, or her campaign financing. Maybe that was because, these are people are funded by George Soros or ActBlue. So maybe that's why she took the case. She didn't have any other choice, but it totally ruined her career. And now she's not going to go down in history of the worst DA in history. No, everybody's going to know her as the inappropriate DA. I think that's worse of being the worst. You're not going to even know about, hey, she couldn't prosecute people. No, they're going to know that she couldn't prosecute people because she couldn't keep her legs closed and she was a messy person. And then people are going to think twice about when they see black women in particular in these types of positions. Or should we actually elect these individuals? Because like even Letitia James, you have a personal vendetta against Donald Trump. He ain't never did nothing to you. Donald Trump ain't never did nothing to Letitia James, but she ran her whole career on prosecuting Donald Trump. It's one thing to say, hey, I'm going to prosecute Donald Trump so you could say, let me get in office, because, you know, you got most of your constituents or the people that you're trying to get to vote for you. They hate Donald Trump, too. That's one thing. But it's another thing to act on the things that you said. Hey, this is what got me in office. Let me try it. I mean, I think it's really ridiculous. It's a bad career move. It's like you basically killed your career. But Fonnie Willis, since it's predominantly black and predominantly Democrat in Fulton County, she got reelected. She won her reelection bid.
Well, it seemed complicated from the beginning. There is that case here in New York that's still out there, the 34 counts in Judge Merchan's courtroom. He made a ruling about a week ago that the conviction still stands, but the penalty will be judged at a later date. John, do you think that later date ever happens now?
I think this is Judge Merchan really still trying to go after Donald Trump. Think about it. If you look, Bill, you mentioned the presidential immunity case. There's a footnote, a really important footnote in that opinion that says states, even if they're prosecuting a president for private acts, can't use evidence from the presidency. They can't use what Donald Trump said in the Oval Office. They can't use what White House officials said. Nevertheless, Judge Merchan went ahead and held a trial and introduced that kind of evidence. He should, at the very least, order a new trial, if not force the DA to go back to it. But what Merchan is doing, which I think is still dangerous, is he's dangling these charges still, the sentencing, over the head of Donald Trump and saying, well, I can't sentence you now. Maybe I won't. He still he could try to get in before the inauguration, but he shouldn't. But he's going to say, I'm going to dangle that over your head for the next 4 years, and I'm going to be waiting for you when your presidency is over.
Well, you have to think he's doing the work of Alvin Bragg, right, Dana? At the moment. I mean, he works for the DA, right?
Dana looking like, what the hell are you talking about? But I just want to make a point before I get to this other video I want to show you. Just imagine you are the president of the United States and you're going into the Oval Office again. You're doing the will of the people. You're doing, making actually sacrifices for the people. You sacrificing your family. You're sacrificing your business. You're trying to negotiate people off the cliff. And when I'm speaking of people off the cliff, different countries off the cliff, because, we do have 3 wars that's going on. And we kind of got our hand into it. So you're going in, you're trying to subside that particular violence or turmoil that's going across the globe. Okay. And you serve your 4 years. You don't reap not one benefit. You're not even saying, hey, remember he said he's not going to take a salary. He didn't take a salary last time. You're not taking a salary this time. So you're not financially gained. Name recognition. There's no more person that's more recognized than Donald Trump. So name recognition, can't be more recognized. And his whole thing is to make America great. Okay. I'm not going to say again because some people get triggered again, just to make America great and turn the wheel or the power back to the people. This is what Donald Trump was trying to do in this last term. He wanted to turn the wheel back to the American people, or give the wheel back to the American people. And of course, you have the establishment and the people that's really running the country mad as hell at that, okay? So they're going to do everything they said in their power to stop him from doing that. But my point is, you sacrifice. Then the day after you get out of sacrificing your businesses, your family, your friends, your relationships for the American people, they come up with this bullshit. Oh, we're gonna stop this case. We're gonna put it on hold. We're gonna pause this case until he get out of office. What kind of shit is that? What kind of shit is that? Even Joe Biden, we could say Joe Biden should be prosecuted for the crimes he did. They should be looking into Joe Biden. You know, the Burisma entanglement, receiving payment because of his authority in the United States. He should probably be prosecuted. He should have been impeached or whatever, but they didn't. Should the man go to jail? Probably so. For the crimes he did. But would they put Joe Biden in jail? Donald Trump was asked, hey, would you go after so-and-so? Would you go? He was like, no. I have a mission. The mission is X, Y, and Z. This is what the people elected me on. Closing the borders, restoring faith in the American people, making America great, making America rich. So I'm not going to spend my time, wasting my time on trying to go out after my political opponents, even though they tried to bury me. No, my mission before I die, because Donald Trump is 78. I don't know how long he's going to live, but his dad lived a long time, but he's 78 years old. Before I die, this is what I want my legacy to be about. And you want to dangle this damn charge over him, over his businesses that probably shouldn't even, well, not even probably, it shouldn't even been a damn charge. But you want to dangle that over him and say, oh, we still got you under our thumbs after he took the highest job of the land, the most stressful job of the land. It sounds totally ridiculous. Now, so this is Fani Willis, not Fani Willis, but CNN. CNN is mad as hell. CNN is mad as hell because they saying now it's not even back burnered. It's dead in the water. Yeah. The case is going to die because nobody's going to pick it up.
Development that Donald Trump has wanted.
With breaking news just into CNN, the Georgia prosecutor leading the state's election interference case against President-elect Donald Trump is now disqualified. CNN's Caitlin Polance is here with more. Caitlin, what can you tell us about this? This is just coming in the last several minutes. This is a big development.
A big development, and a big development that Donald Trump has wanted for a long time. That case against him in Georgia, the criminal case where it's accusing him and several others of a racketeering conspiracy related to the 2020 election, it's already been paused. Now it's not even backburnered. This is a case that will be dead in the water because the Georgia Court of Appeals is now saying that Fonnie Willis, the leader of the prosecution against Donald Trump, the district attorney in Fulton County, Georgia, she should be disqualified from being able to bring that case. The Georgia Court of Appeals is saying that it's a significant appearance of impropriety caused by the conduct of a public prosecutor. That is Willis, how she behaved, how she was speaking about the case, about Trump publicly, about how she was having a relationship with the top prosecutor that was concealed in this, a man named Nathan Wade. All of that, previously, the trial level judge had looked at and said, Fonnie Willis can stay on this case. We're not dismissing the indictment. But the Court of Appeals is now taking another look and saying, no, The trial judge was wrong. Fonnie Willis should be disqualified from continuing to lead this case. It would be a long process, or it will be a long process, to replace her, which is why I say this case is dead in the water now without Fonnie Willis, the person who was leading this case against Donald Trump in Fulton County. And just to keep tabs on how many cases there are against Donald Trump criminally, the other two in federal court, January 6th, and classified documents, those are dismissed. And then the additional case in New York City, where he was set to be sentenced, that sentencing is now not happening. So as Donald Trump enters the presidency, each of these courts that is handling a criminal case is essentially removing that issue from him to have to deal with in any period of time in the near future.
All right, Kaylin Polance, thanks for that added perspective. Let me bring in and see. We begin this.
Yeah, they should remove it. He's not been dealt with any other case. He shouldn't come. You shouldn't be criminally prosecuting Donald Trump. Hasn't he gave himself enough to the American people? Leave the guy alone. Leave him alone. And this is so unreal to me. That and you'll have they're gonna have a massive meltdown. Before we go to our next subject, I just want to pull up The View to see if they had a massive meltdown yet. Well, you have your girl Whoopi Goldberg. Trying to say Elon Musk and JD Vance is going to do a coup. Anyway, let me just play this because I got to hear what she's saying, because they always spread. I don't even know how they stay on TV spreading this nonsense.
Who is in charge? Because I've been saying it for a while.
Yes, you have.
I've been saying that I think Elon Musk believes he's president. I do.
Well, you've been calling him vice president.
I've called him vice president. I called him president, because I don't know what JD is doing. I hardly ever. I don't remember the last time we even talked about JD.
And you know what? It's funny how she's saying that and bringing that up. When was the last time we saw Kamala Harris? Only reason why we saw Kamala Harris is because she started running for president, and then we didn't hardly see her then. And they got offended. They got offended when people were pointing out, oh, we haven't seen Kamala Harris. Where in the world is Kamala Harris? Anyway. I don't know where this is coming from.
Right. He's planning the presidency when they get rid of Trump.
So you think it's Musk Vance?
Possible.
Hey, you know who? Stay away from the stairways. Because, people put the leg out to trip you going down the stairs. Watch out.
To me, that's really ridiculous. I believe Donald Trump is really trying to bring up new leaders. That's why he picked JD Vance, because he's young. He knows that if they have a successful presidency, JD Vance could take whatever Donald Trump vision is and put his vision on to them, to run for presidency in 2028. A good presidency for Donald Trump means a shoe-in for JD Vance. And that's exactly why Donald Trump picked him, because he's young. He's young. He's trying to usher new leaders in. Develop them. See, unfortunately for your girl, what's her name? Whoopi Goldberg, she's never worked for real. to be a part of a job where they said, oh, we're going to develop this particular talent to bring on new leadership in our company. So she doesn't know that's what people do in normal day-to-day life. You're an actor, okay, or actress. So you don't know. You don't know. People need to be developed to take on big jobs. That's how companies stay alive, because they develop their younger talent. Anyway, that was a wild conspiracy theory. I was just trying to see if they were actually freaking out because they dropped this Fonnie Willis got the boot off the case, and it doesn't look like. It doesn't look like they're saying anything about that. Okay, so our next topic is your girl, Tiffany Henyard. And we ain't gonna spend too long on this topic. We know Tiffany Henyard's crazy. Okay, Tiffany Henyard is crazy. She's mad because Trustee Carmen Carlisle and Trustee Gonzalez is pulling chess moves on her, so she is not able to install her own trustee to replace the other guy that left. Okay, we know that. We know that's the reason. That's one of the main reasons why they didn't come to the prior meetings. Because if Trustee Gonzalez and Trustee Carmen Carlisle would have showed up to the trustee meeting, they would been forced to nominate a trustee, and the power would not be for the people or in the hands of the people. They would have had to vote for the trustee, and it would have been skewed. Instead of letting the people choose, nominate, vote, and choose of who they want to be a trustee temporarily. I don't know when the guy's term was up, but I think it was just like a 6 or 7 months that they would be in office. Okay, so now Tiffany Henyard is going around to whoever will listen, saying, "Hey, you know, these people, these trustees are not showing up to do the job, and now we got to shut the township down because they're not coming in to pay the bills."
Between two board members.
This is what ABC had to say. You guys put in the chat, let me know if you can hear this.
Battle between two board members and Supervisor Tiffany Henyard has escalated into an all-out government shutdown in Thornton Township. The doors here at township buildings are locked. Many services have been stopped. But Henyard said she's going to bring those board members to court to make them show up for work.
Is Thornton Township shut down because of insurance?
Yes, that is true. The fact is, the Board of Trustees, Carmen Carlisle and Chris Gonzalez, did not come to any board meetings for over 60 days, causing us to not have insurance.
Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard confirming to me COVID shutdown protocols are in place, allowing township staff to work from home to avoid layoffs after a battle between Henyard and the two chronically absent members of the Thornton Township Board, Carmen Carlisle and Chris Gonzalez.
Our hesitation is that if there's a person in there that will just say yes to everything, I mean, it will set us back.
The trustees say they're boycotting to prevent Henyard from appointing a tie-breaking trustee, something Henyard maintains the two could block if they attended meetings.
Do you have the power to unilaterally appoint someone to this tie-breaking vote position?
I do not. I do not have sole power to appoint anybody. When you're going to say, hey, it's neglect, you're neglecting your duties as an elected official.
In the meantime, government gridlock and mounting unpaid bills. Meanwhile, State Senator Napoleon Harris, who replaced Henyard at the top of the township ticket, running for supervisor after a controversial caucus, is weighing in on allegations of voter suppression.
No one was denied entrance. Everything was done above board, and people need to respect the rule of law.
That's something Henyard disputes as well, asking a judge in a lawsuit against Harris for what she described as a fair caucus.
I am history. I am the 21st century history. I am your Rosa Parks, your Harriet Tubmans. I am that person. Somebody has to say, never, never, ever give up.
So no end in sight for this government shutdown in Thornton Township and no layoffs in sight just yet.
Watch breaking. You are the Harriet Tubmans? Who is that? Who is Harriet Tubmans? Who is Harriet Tubmans? You leading, I don't know who Harriet Tubmans is, but Tiffany wants to be, I guess, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, whatever. Everything she said was a lie. Everything she said was a lie. She's acting as if the township would have put, let me just go all in the queue right quick. If they would have put, oh my bad, I'm in the wrong spot. If they would have put to the vote to pay the bills, the insurance would have been active. I don't think so. I think that they found that Tiffany Henyard is uninsurable. I think that's the problem. Tiffany Henyard is Tiffany Henyard. Not nobody else. It's Tiffany. It's nothing to do with Thornton Township. Tiffany Henyard is uninsurable because of her. And, you know, the township, why all in the queue is not coming up on my page? See if it come up. That's weird. Her page is not coming up. That is so weird. Oh yeah, here it is. So yeah, Tiffany Henyard, you're absolutely lying, saying that reason why they not showing up is because I think this is it. Is because you think they're trying to stop or shut down the township. That has nothing to do with it. Let me just get to the part.
The receipts of what I said, and then we're going to look at timelines, okay? And then I'm going to be out of here. I'm going to be sorry for interrupting your scrolling. I'm going to be out of here. So let's get into it. This here is an email. Enlarge your screen if you're on your phones. Enlarge your screen. This is an email here. It says, and excuse me, names have been redacted. Certain names have been redacted to protect the innocent. But this email, you can't see all the way at the top, was sent to Robert Hunt, who is the finance director. And it was an inquiry about the insurance. And if you see this, it says, and this is coming from Robert Hunt, as of December 1, 2024, the insurance coverage for the Thornton Township General Fund and General Assistance Fund has lapsed. The current insurance provider for Thornton Township has declined to offer an extension.
Did you hear that? Did you guys hear that? Has nothing to do with Thornton Township trustees. Okay, they're lapsed. Okay, they're the General Assistance Fund and the General Assistance Funds and the General Funds has lapsed as of December the 1st. Okay. This is from Super Producer. These email is from Robert Hunt. Robert Hunt is the CPA of Thornton Township. Who lying? Who is lying, you guys? Of course, once again, Tiffany Henyard.
This time, we have no other offers available. I spoke with the broker today, and they informed me that they will provide an update on December the 10th, 2024. We are receiving daily updates from brokers regarding any new offers. Below is a list of lapsed coverages. Lapsed insurance policy, general liability, auto, public officials liability, property, equipment breakdown. The Road and Bridge Fund successfully secured and has no lapse in insurance. Thornton Township was able to obtain an extension for crime and cyber insurance. However, no extensions have been granted for the other lapsed coverages. Please let me know if you have any questions. Sorry for the delay.
What does that tell you, you guys? Somebody lying. And it sounds like Tiffany Henyard is lying. She is lying to the American people, or whoever's listening. Whoever listening to Tiffany. If you listen to Tiffany now, you just a fool. If you listen, no, let me retract that statement. If you listening to Tiffany now, old Tiff, super mayor, stupid mayor, somebody, I heard somebody call her stupid mayor. If you're listening to her now and believe in her, there's no hope for you. Okay. Because everything she claims, if her mouth is moving, she is lying. They don't have no type of coverage, and she is uninsurable. That's basically what they're saying. We're not offering you extension. We're not doing none of that. Matter of fact, go find another insurance company, because we don't want you. You too messy. You cause a bunch of ruckus. Now, if we go back to the caucus that was held on December the 3rd, I believe it was December the 3rd, where she had to run for re-election. She's carrying around people in the Thornton Township bus, and she didn't have no damn auto insurance. You don't have any auto insurance, and you carrying around old folks on the bus. I'm pretty sure Thornton Township got other cars, and they can drive around with lapse coverage or no insurance. You guys let me know. Thank you, Justin. Yeah, you guys, when you get a chance, to subscribe to All in the Queue. Okay, All in the Queue. That's where this video is from.
Control and domination. That's the goal of all power systems.
Because this right here, let me put this back up. Let me put this back up. This says as of December 1. Somebody get in the comments and should tell me what was the date of the caucus.
It was December the 3rd. That was the date of the caucus, and they didn't have no insurance. They didn't have no insurance.
Somebody tell me what the date of the caucus was. Thank you, Helen Gillett. Thank you to everyone. Thank you. Okay? Okay, K-Mac? Okay? Stop playing. Let me get in this camera. Stop playing. Stop playing with me.
Okay, super producer. Super producer on one right now. But yes, stop playing and stop playing with the American people. Stop playing with the Thornton Township residents. Stop playing with Dalton Village residents. Stop playing. Why you always lying? Lying for no reason. Don't make no damn sense. You don't make no damn sense the way you lie all the time. Anyway, you guys put in the chat. Let me know what you think. Tiffany still got bingo going on. If you don't have, they changed the venue. I guess because they don't got no insurance, they had to change the venue to a place where they have insurance. I'm not for sure. The township is shut down, but she's having bingo.
Closed for how long? Neither residents nor employees know at this point.
I'm the only one, and I don't even work here, and I'm here.
Tom Olenichuk showed up first thing this morning to hand in important paperwork for an assistance program due Friday, but was met by this sign.
Okay, here I am, and they disappeared now. So now what? What do you do now?
At our busy season. And I come in and the staff's here. We can't get in the building.
The township assessor and her staff also came to work as usual, uninformed the building would be closed.
We got no notification, no warning or nothing.
Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard warned of a government shutdown today after a fifth meeting had to be canceled yesterday because 2 board members failed to show up. Their aim, to block Henyard from appointing someone to a vacant trustee position who could provide tie-breaking votes.
Our job is to govern, to provide a way, provide services. And we're not doing that because they're stalling government, gridlocking it, because they can't have their way. Come on, it's not high school.
Unable to conduct business, Henyard says the township can't renew its insurance. A shutdown, she says, means ceasing assistance programs for seniors and after-school programs for children, potentially laying off more than 100 township workers.
Our hesitation is that if there's a person in there that will just say yes to everything, I mean, it will set us back.
Trustee Carmen Carlisle is one of the board members who's been absent from meetings. She says the board has not been part of insurance renewals in recent past and believes insurance could have been decided months ago.
It was used to get us in the building. We'll dangle the insurance over their heads so they can get here so we can get this appointment. But, you can't play with these things. You have to do what's responsible.
Now, Henyard has not returned our calls this morning to confirm what services might be halted today and for how long. All of this comes as Henyard is also suing township Democrats for their caucus vote earlier this month in which Henyard was left off the April ballot for supervisor.
I thought they don't know that they dropped the charges. Did she bring some more charges up? You guys put in the chat. I didn't see that out there. That Tiffany Henyard brought more charges up, or suing Democrats. Now, this just came up. It says judge rules against Tiffany Henyard's power grab.
from South Suburban Dalton, where a judge has sided with opponents of Mayor Tiffany Henyard in an ongoing power struggle. Henyard has tried to work around trustees by appointing her own village manager, attorney, and police chief. The trustees sued. Now a judge has entered an order that clearly states Henyard's picks for those positions are out. No comment yet from Tiffany Henyard. She faces a re-election battle this spring from mayor of Dalton. Henyard is also suing after Democrats voted against slating her for supervisor of Thornton Township.
So Tiffany getting L's all the way around. Tiffany getting L's all the way around. That was, remember, she appointed at Dalton Village that she wanted to, she appointed that, I guess, the lawyer. She also appointed administrator, which was, I believe, Keith Price, or was it Keith Price or Michael Smith? One of those two. And the chief. And they ruled against that. It says Judge Thaddeus Wilson, Henyard's lawyer, said Henyard's lawyer chose not to file an answer to trustees' complaint that she was acting beyond her authority to appoint people for a key village position without their advice and consent. The permanent injunction entered this week specifically says Ronnie Bird Sr. is restrained from holding himself out at the village police chief or conducting any duties. So Ronnie Bird Sr. remains a mall cop. What do you call it? Is it mall cop? You call he a flashlight cop. Ronnie Bird remains a flashlight cop. He couldn't have been a cop anyway, but he remains that. Okay. It goes on to say Henyard's pick for village administrator, Michael Smith, a village attorney, Angela Lockett, can also not act in those capacities. She's not an empress, she's the mayor, says Bert Olderson, who represents the trustees opposed to Henyard. She needs to follow the rules. Mayor Henyard proposed the agreement and all parties agreed to it, Henyard attorney Max Solomon said. Mayor Henyard will continue to pursue and follow all her legal options and procedures as clearly agreed in order. Max, you're a loser too, okay? You like 199. Since you've been in Tiffany's corner or representing Tiffany, you losing at all angles. You're fighting a losing battle. And stop just taking Tiffany's money, or hopefully it's Tiffany's money. It might be somebody else's money. But Henyard's battle to control the key village position has paralyzed many operations. WGN Investigated has documented concerns about Henyard's spending and leadership in both Dalton and Thornton Township, where she's the supervisor. Federal investigators have served subpoenas as part of the ongoing probe of both of the government's Henyard runs. It says this week Henyard closed and locked out the Thornton Township building amid an ongoing dispute with the trustees who have boycotted meetings to block her ability to appoint a new trustees to replace an ally who resigned from the board. Henyard is suing township Democrats who blocked her from participating in the caucus to select who would appear at the top of their ticket. She also faces a re-election bid for mayor of Dalton this spring. Henyard, you need to give it up. That's what it sounds like. But will she? No, she's not going to give up. Henyard's not going to give up. She's going to keep on coming. Let me look at some of your comments. Good afternoon, amazing Lovecraft. Justin said, no insurance company wants to deal with Henyard, but neither does the banks. Exactly. Henyard can't even get a bank account. The Village of Dalton had to close, or actually the bank closed the bank account because of the mess Henyard kept up. She would go in and saying, oh, raise hell, saying she should be on a bank account. And, you know, the Thornton or Dalton trustees would say, no, we have an injunction. She's not supposed to be on a bank account. They got tired of her shit. So they closed it. They closed their bank account. Have you ever heard of such a bank closing a city's bank account? A city that collects almost $20 million in tax revenues a year. They rather leave that $20 million alone than deal with Tiffany Henyard. Theo Vinny, she needs to sharpen her domino skills for prison. Yeah, she does. Amazing Lovecraft, Tiffany, the tyrant Grinch who stole Dalton Village and Thornton Township. Henyard stealing the bingo games fee for the biased bingo cards in her favor. Peter Northrop, they got Lacey and Freeman. She and her boyfriend are next. Thornton taxpayers are greedy. Ha 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 ha. Tiffany, the bitter witch, intentionally blocking people from getting into work. Citizens from conducting businesses. Nasty work. Yeah, that is very nasty work. Easter Battle is saying she refiled. Oh, she did refile. I didn't know that. Has anything been said about the eviction? Yeah, Celeste. Yesterday she was, no, it was Tuesday. They postponed her eviction to sometime in January. And that is not because, you know, a favor of Tiffany. It's because, well, I guess it is in favor of Tiffany, but because of the weather. I guess they got this moratorium that you cannot evict anyone in Illinois if it's a certain or below a certain temperature. That's some BS. And also, the girl that filed eviction, the landlord, she put an amendment in. It's saying that Tiffany now owes Tiffany and Kamal owes her $13,000, $13,600. That's what they're saying. If Tiff and half a brain, if she had a half a brain, she'd shut up and work out a plea deal. Yeah. Nothing new yet that I know of. Tiffany and the tyrant Grinch is threatening and bullying citizens as usual, and the judge dropped the BS. She's trying to sue people out of her guilt and financial thievery. She's facing so much time, her great grandkids are going to have to finish her time. Yeah. I'm not surprised. Tiffany Henyard, I'm surprised they haven't brought her up on charges yet. I don't know why they dragging her feet. But if we look at the last mayor, I believe he was under investigation. I forget what township it was, but it was South Holland. His brother ended up going to jail, and the mayor ended up getting away scot-free. And he was doing some really, really dirty stuff. They had a strip club, and they were strong-arming the strip club. They was making them pay a certain amount of money a month to operate in the strip club. I guess they were doing like, not only stripping, they was doing other stuff. Okay. They was doing something strange for a little change in this strip club. But the mayor ended up not getting any time, even though they investigated him. The brother ended up having to plead guilty, and he was sentenced. I'm not for sure how much time he got, but he ended up pleading guilty, and he's doing some federal time too. Anyway, Chawanne, you're going to need a 72-hour podcast just to read the charges coming down the road. Exactly. Celeste Hodges, you know what I worry about is her daughter, Tiff, is losing control and the dad needs to take custody now. I'm surprised he hasn't put in for custody, but I'm pretty sure, her ex, he's married to one of the news reporters. I don't know if you guys remember. I've been reporting on Tiffany a long time. Her ex is married to a news reporter. And a long time ago, Tiffany Henyard sent in like a scathing letter, poorly written, by the way. Scathing letter to the actual news station saying, hey, if you don't stop, only reason why you reporting on me because of my ex is sending you guys on stories. And she's never reported on Tiffany. She's never reported on Tiffany. But she's claiming that the girl is doing this in way to get back at her. But no, she's married. She's married to your ex. So she's the one that's winning, right? So why would I need to be bothered with you? So she sent a scathing letter telling them to cease and desist, stop talking about me or else. And they continue to do stories about her. Tiffany, you can't sue a news reporter or news station from talking about you because you are a political official. You are a public servant, so they're going to talk about you, whether it be good or bad. Anyway. Anyway, there you have it, folks. So the Thornton Township is shut down. I didn't view the Thornton Township board meeting. Only reason why I don't want to view that is because I don't want to spread any more lies. Okay. Anything that Tiffany, I know it's entertaining sometimes, but Tiffany, all you doing is lying. They're saying Tiffany Henyard spent $16,000 on her campaign for a party that nobody showed up, I heard. Nobody showed up for it. But anyway. And this is the permanent injunction that was ordered. It's permanent. It's not temporary anymore. It's permanent. So your Barney Fife and your newly found attorney, they can no longer be in attendance in the meeting anymore. So there you have it. Let me see, what does this say? This is just an old email about the insurance. They wanted to hold a special meeting on Friday morning, December the 1st, about the insurance. I don't know. Why do you don't have insurance on autopay? I mean, I know somebody just tell me, why would you have to? I'm kind of confused. I mean, I know board has to approve it, but why wouldn't you have that on autopay? I just don't understand that. Anyway. You guys, tomorrow, we don't have a regular scheduled program tomorrow, but I am on Unpopular Opinion channel. That is my other channel, Chawanne Burns 2.0, where we discuss hot topic, things that's going on, political, culture events, whatever that's trending in the news. Okay, so stay tuned for that. If you are not subscribed to that channel, you want to go over there to Chawanne Burns 2.0. Okay, it's Chawanne Burns 2.0, and that podcast with me and super producer, we usually are on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Okay, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. If Central Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so you want to tune in, go over to this channel. It's going to get a channel refresh, so it's going to look a little bit different. So, but if you're online, make sure you tune in for that. Okay, so I'm sending all my good to you. I really appreciate every single last one of you. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video. Okay. Leave a comment. If you watching the replay, leave a comment. Okay. Help me with the YouTube algorithm. You know, YouTube been doing me dirty. So I'm sending all my good to you. I will talk to you soon.